Welcome to Holistic Kids Show. My name is Zane.
And my name's Abdullah. Welcome to the Holistic Kids Show.
Okay. Today we're going to be interviewing an awesome person, Dr. Anna Maria Temple. And thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited to be here, guys. I can't wait to chat with you. I've been looking forward to this like all week.
Unfortunately, kids now are being sick is getting new, and since now kids are getting sick and sicker, living in a very unhealthy world. We aren't just talking about the pandemic. We are talking about the pandemic of chronic disease.
Today, we're living in. Unfortunately, we aren't just talking about the pandemic. We are talking about the pandemic of chronic disease in children, with over 1 in every second children having a chronic illness like asthma, ADHD, autism, and in 4 years it can be 80% of kids can be sick. Unfortunately, kids being sick is now the new normal.
Today we are honored to talk to Dr. Anna Maria Temple. She is a best-selling author of this amazing book,
The Rule of Five.
So exciting.
She is also a mother of 3, an award-winning speaker at Harvard Club of Boston, and has over 100 TV news appearances and podcast appearances. She graduated from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill Medical School, where she did her residency at combined internal medicine and pediatrics at Penn State, and has gotten a certificate in functional medicine from IFM in 2017, from 2016 and to 2017. She lived and worked in New Zealand medical system, where she started putting functional medicine into practice. In her 22-year career, she has treated over 36,000 patients in person and hundreds via online courses. Her passion is to inspire and educate and empower mothers to revamp their family's health and prevent children from developing chronic disease.
Welcome, Dr. Temple. Thank you for joining us today.
I am super excited to be here.
We would love to know how a kid's doctor went from conventional system to actually healing and preventing chronic disease in children.
Well, you know what? I have 3 kids. And when about 12 years ago, all 3 of my kids were filled with chronic disease. They had asthma, eczema, congestion, ear infections, snot, boogers, seasonal allergies. They couldn't poop regularly. They were a mess. And when I took them to their doctor, when they were still on medications and a lot of antibiotics, my question was like, what can we do to make sure these kids get off antibiotics? What is the root cause of their issue? And their doctors was like, well, it's basically, when you have asthma, you take inhaled steroids, which is this medication that you breathe in, and then the asthma is well controlled. And if you have eczema, you put topical steroids on, and that keeps the eczema under control. And my daughter, at that time, she'll take allergy medicines, and then she'll get over her ear infections and her croup, and she will outgrow these eventually. As for the little one, my youngest child had so many allergies that, at Easter, when you go and look for Easter eggs and go outside, he couldn't even go outside because his eyes would be tearing, and he would be covered in hives, which is these red blotches, and he would be scratching because he was so itchy. And then my middle child had so many boogers that there was not enough tissues to take care of that problem. And the doctors were like, there's nothing that we can do for that, just more antibiotics. Anyway, I did not think that having children on chronic medications for the rest of their lives was the right answer. So one day, a week later, I went to the kids' school where I understood what I was doing to my children. All that the nutritionist I heard speak talked about was sugar. And so that day I went home and I threw out Lucky Charms, Pop Tarts, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, chicken nuggets, um, orange crackers, juice boxes, chocolate milk. And then, it was at that time that really everybody was thought, what am I doing? That's so weird. I started fighting with my husband over food because why would children not be able to eat fun foods? Kids are fun. They should have fun food. And my friends thought I was weird. My family thought I was weird. Anyway, but I persevered. And over the next 5 years, everyone came off medications because I got rid of the garbage and I gave them fruits and vegetables at all meals. And then in 12 years, they were without any medications. And we moved to New Zealand with no health insurance, no doctors. And they were able to climb the highest mountains and bungee jump off the highest bridges without so much as taking a Tylenol. And that's when I realized, oh my gosh, what I'm doing is working. So I started treating my patients in clinic differently. And my mom started asking different questions. And then my practice changed. And when we came back to the US, I decided that I was going to do medicine completely different and really work with kids at preventing disease and trying to make sure that they stay healthy in this unhealthy world.
That's amazing.
But it's so scary.
Why are so many kids getting sick today?
Well, one of the big things is I don't think parents know how to feed their children. It's so confusing. When you look on TV, you see commercials. Do you see commercials for tomatoes and cucumbers? No. We see commercials for chicken nuggets, donuts, breakfast cereal, juice, right? Nobody's like, oh, we should eat more celery. Children should eat more salad. Let's drink more water. They're like, no, let's drink more Gatorade. And so parents are getting very confused. And the children think, well, how come they get to eat Doritos and we don't have Doritos, right? How come they get to eat ice cream and we don't get ice cream? So the kids are whining, the parents are confused, and then it's just much easier to give in to kids than to fight kids sometimes. So lo and behold, we're all eating so much sugar, preservatives. I mean, what's in Lucky Charms? Food coloring. Do you guys know what food color? I am sure your mother told you. What does food coloring do to the brain? Do you guys know?
Yeah.
Yes. It makes it worse. It makes it work a lot worse.
Right. So your brain can function. You can't focus. There's no memory. So we have tons of food coloring, tons of preservatives. People in the US are so busy that it's easier to grab things in a package than to actually make food at home. Here's another thing. Now you guys told me that you guys are on Zoom school. So now people are on electronics all the time, right? And then after you put down Zoom school, then you go on video games, which is more issues. So now we're having more problems with getting kids, their brain irritated from screens. And now we're seeing more memory issues, focus issues, and ADHD. And I don't even know, do any of your friends play outside anymore? Because in our neighborhood, there's hardly any children playing outside.
We barely even know our neighbors now.
Yeah, barely.
Right? And before, when I grew up, the only thing we did was like we went outside. The worst punishment was when my mom was like, you're not allowed to play outside. And it was like, ah. Now the worst punishment is I'm taking your electronics away. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, we heard a lot about immune system, but what does the immune system have to do with how a child feels?
That is such a good question. We hear about the immune system because of all the virus stuff going on in the pandemic. But the immune system lays in our gut and it starts from the beginning. So a lot of people think, oh, I have a strong immune system because I don't get colds. Or I have a strong immune system because my children don't get a lot of boogers or a lot of ear infection. However, if your child is always scratching from eczema, they have an immune system problem. If your child is always tired and exhausted and can't focus at school, immune system problem. If your child is coughing all the time because they have asthma, immune system problem. So we tend to associate immune system with just colds and congestion and maybe an ear infection. A lot of people forget that actually our immune system protects us from everything. And in this world, it's the problem is it's overreactive. So the immune system is acting too much. And when the immune system is acting too much because of the chemicals in our food and chemicals in our water and chemicals in our environment, we see things like eczema and asthma and ADHD and anxiety and depression.
So you talk about the 5 pillars in your amazing book that everyone needs to read. What are the 5 pillars of the optimal immune system and preventing chronic disease?
We always start with nutrition. If you know, one of the things, here's a question that I have for you guys is, what does the body, so our body makes cells every single day. And what does the body use to make new cells every day? We make new skin cells, new eyeball cells, lung cells. Do you guys know what does the body use to make new cells every day?
Food.
Food. Excellent. So if we give the body garbage food, it's going to make garbage cells. And we're going to have a garbage brain, and we'll have garbage muscles that are not very fast, and we have a garbage body that doesn't grow very tall, and we have garbage skin that causes eczema. So nutrition is the number 1 pillar, followed by sleep, because when we sleep at night is actually when the immune system is at work and cleaning house, and we detoxify the body. Our stress, we need to reduce our stress in order to let the body breathe easier. To help the body, the immune system work better. Our environment is polluted with toxins and lead and chemicals in our water and our air and the stuff we clean our stuff with, right? And then lastly, movement. We just talked about there's no kids playing outside. We need to move our bodies in order to better get our bodies to function better.
Right. That's amazing.
You talk about the importance of food. My mom is always trying us to eat together as a family. Is that really important?
It is one of my favorite topics to discuss. Eating family meals is associated with better grades in school, less bullying, less depression, less anxiety. Children know more words. They speak better. They have better manners. They're better leaders. And it goes on and on. We have thousands of medical papers to show the benefits of eating together as a family.
Wow, there's so many
Benefits,
benefits. What should parents do when their children are picky eaters?
Always the question. Well, number 1 is we have to reduce our children's sugar intake. When we eat sugar, when we're always eating cookies and crackers and white bread and pasta, we develop taste buds that just want more sugar and more carbs. So we have to stop giving in to the sugar monsters, and we have to offer more fruits and vegetables. And if we're going to step before that, the first thing we need our parents. We need the parents to eat more vegetables. Do you know that I have in clinic parents that try to get their kids to eat vegetables, but the parents are only eating chicken nuggets and French fries? Great. What? And so, right. So the kids can't eat vegetables if the parents are not eating vegetables. So the first thing, we got to get our parents to be eating vegetables. Then we have to reduce how much sugar we're bringing into the house, because I know you guys are handsome and you're fabulous, but neither one of you can drive, nor do you have a lot of money for groceries. So you can't go out to the store and buy sugar. The only people that are supplying you with sugar would be your parents. So dear parents, please stop bringing sugar into the house. And then doing it small steps. The last thing is small steps. Just offer 1 grape at breakfast. That's easy to eat. That's not scary. 1 slice of cucumber at lunch. No big deal. And maybe just 1 little piece of broccoli at dinner. That's it. No big thing. A lot of times when we're struggling with picky eaters, we think we need to change everything. We need to change the diet today. But if we change our mindset and we go, we're just going to do tiny little steps, a little bit every day, great things happen.
That's brilliant. But bad foods can be so tricky because kids think it tastes really good. How can they retrain their taste buds to eat healthy foods?
Well, the garbage foods taste delicious. We're going to be honest here for a second. They taste amazing and delicious because Scientists spend millions and billions of dollars in a lab, insert evil scientists with goggles and evil laughter, but they spend thousands and millions of dollars in order to figure out what is the right chemical combination to trick your taste buds. Because when you eat Doritos, when you finish a bag of Doritos, your mind is like, oof, where's my next bag? Or goldfish, you're like, when do I get the next thing of goldfish? Mother Nature, on the other hand, makes a tomato. And she's not in a lab. She's not chemically adding anything. So the tomato's got to compete with a goldfish. And it's very difficult. So, here's a fun fact. The reason we have taste buds is long time ago, thousands of years ago, when we would forage in the forest, we had taste buds to tell us a plant is good or bad. If a plant tasted sweet, the person knew that it was okay to eat. When a plant tasted bitter, you spit it out. You're like, because you don't want to eat poison. But now, in our day, the scientists have tricked us. So we can't tell if a food is poison or food is good because of the chemical experiment. So the number one thing to do is remove how many chemical foods we have in our house. Here's another myth. There's no such thing as junk food. There's junk, and then there's food. So we've got to remove junk from our house in order for the taste buds to die, so they could start being retrained at liking new fruits and vegetables. And then we go back to the whole thing. Just one small bite of a fruit or a vegetable before you eat a packaged food.
That's very interesting.
Let's start with breakfast. A lot of kids eat cereal. Is that a good thing to start with your day?
It's probably my biggest nemesis, cereal. I mean, it's filled with sugar, simple carbs that turn to sugar, food coloring that messes up the brain, and then preservatives in it so it doesn't rot. Some of the preservatives they're used to make jet fuel and car engines and the disgusting things that they put in cereal. Oh, and then they add vitamins and minerals to make it seem like we're eating a complete meal. Do you know what I mean? Like on the commercials, it's all part of the complete breakfast. So it's all a marketing ploy to get people to eat this garbage. But it's easy and the kids like it. So it's so difficult to get rid of it. It took me years to get rid of the cereal from our house because it was like everyone is addicted to it. However, this is just garbage and it feeds the brain with sugar. And when we eat a lot of sugar, it shrinks the brain. True story. Yep. So people who have a high sugar diet have smaller brains than people who eat low sugar diets. And this is based on MRI scans done in adults. I rest my case.
Wow. Wow.
That is amazing.
Amazing science. Are there other foods that make kids sick that we kids should stay away from?
Well, we all know about candies, right? That's an easy one. Let's not eat candy and not eat chocolate bars. But one thing that a lot of kids don't know is sports drinks. They're like, oh, well, I see my favorite athlete drinking a sports drink on a commercial, right? And pretty much if you watch TV, they make you believe that you're not going to be much of an athlete unless you drink sports drinks, right? You're like, how am I even going to play basketball? How am I even going to make that jump shot if I don't have sports drinks? So kids really believe that. And their parents believe that the kids need the electrolytes. Do you guys know what electrolytes are?
No, I don't.
So electrolytes are like salt and potassium. There's things and sugars and electrolyte and vitamin C. And those are things in our body so we don't dehydrate and like pass out on the sports field. However, they made these sports drinks a long time ago when football athletes were in Florida sun at a gazillion million degrees and it was so hot and they were passing out. So they're like, oh my gosh, well, water is not enough. We need to add something to the water. So they put salt, like table salt in it because salt helps the water stay in the body rather than sweat it out. But over time, they took these sports drinks and they added tons of sugar because it's really gross to drink salt water. And then they added food coloring to make it more interesting. So now it's a pile of garbage. But kids feel that if you play 30 minutes of soccer, you need a giant thing of a sports drink. And what they don't realize is that's actually about 20 packets of sugar a day. So you spend, right? So and the human body can only deal with 6 packets of sugar a day. And in one sports drink, you can have up to 20 packets of sugar a day. So you just went out there trying to be faster and better and stronger. And at the end of it, you just drank 20 packets of sugar, which then makes you weaker and slower and shrinks your brain.
That is crazy how our food is being changed. What foods should kids include in their diets?
Very easy. Plants. Plants are things that grow in the ground. And we don't have to get really, it doesn't have to be fancy. As I said, I'm like, you can just start with 2 grapes at breakfast. And if you want to be really adventurous, add a strawberry. And, at lunch, you can add a slice of cucumber with hummus, or you can do some carrot sticks and guacamole, or chips and guacamole, because guacamole is from the avocado and has a plant. And a snack, we can have smoothies, or maybe we can do juice that mom can press at home, or we can do a dinner, always making sure that we start our meal with vegetables, because one of the things that a lot of children do, when you have a plate, you'll eat the potatoes or the rice or the pasta first, then you eat the meat, and then you eat the vegetables. But a good idea is, let's eat the vegetables first, then the meat, and then the rice.
Those are great ideas. We do that in our house too.
We also love our smoothies. Now let's go to your next pillar, stress. How does stress lead to problems?
Well, the more we run around, the more it rises our cortisol. Our cortisol is a hormone that is made from our adrenals. And the more cortisol we have, the less well our immune system functions. We sleep worse, and then we're sick more often. In fact, you know what? So kids in high school, they get the sickest during final exams. My college students are also super sick during midterms and final exams. Why would that be? Because of all the stress. And we know that in adults who have really high stressful jobs are much sicker and miss more work than adults who have less stressful jobs.
What is the most powerful way to lower stress, especially during these very stressful times?
Super simple tip that I love to give all the kids in my clinic is we should start our morning with being grateful. 3 things to be grateful for. So when you wake up in the morning, you can be grateful for your comfy bed. You can be grateful for your jammies. You can be grateful for the sunshine, or you can be grateful for the snow, whatever it is. But waking up to the morning with a positive mindset. So a grateful mind does not have room for stress and anxiety. And it would be great if you could also end your day with 3 things you're grateful for. I'm grateful for my brother, who's so handsome. I'm grateful for my mom, who's an amazing cook. I'm grateful for the dinner we have. I'm grateful for my dog. Whatever it is, just start your day with 3 things you're grateful for, and end your day with 3 things you're grateful for. Pro tip and extra credit, if you write them down in a journal, the brain is more likely to believe and remember them than if you just say them out loud. But I'll take the just saying is no big deal. There's a great starting point. But for my advanced people, I'm like, if you could write those things down, the brain is going to remember better and kick out those negative thoughts.
We also love to start and end our day with gratitude.
What about getting out in nature? Does nature boost the immune system? Restores our brain connection and improves overall brain health?
Yeah, you know what? In Japan, that's actually called forest bathing. So when you're super stressed and you're not feeling well, you're plagued by disease, you actually sent out into the forest for 3 to 5 days at a time. And you're supposed to sit in nature with no electronics, no phones, no distractions. You're just supposed to listen to the birds, breathe in the fresh air, walk around. So we have a lot of data to show that being out in nature decreases our stress, which lowers our cortisol, which improves our immune system and improves our brain function.
I have a question. You talked about how sugar makes your brain smaller. If you get out in nature, can it make your brain bigger?
I don't know. I don't know if it can make your brain bigger because I don't have a study of people that are doing that. That's a great question. But I could tell you that kids who are outside before school have better grades than kids who are on electronics before school. Also, kids who come from school and play outside before they're doing their homework do their homework faster and better than kids who take a break from school by being on electronics. So playing outside definitely improves your memory and your grades.
Your next pillar is sleep. Sleep can be boring. Does sleep really help?
Sleep, to most people is very boring until you're an adult. And then you like really want to sleep all the time and you want to take some extra naps, but you can't because now you're an adult. But when we sleep is actually when the body wakes up. So a lot of people think like, oh, nothing happens when we sleep. When you sleep, the body wakes up and starts cleaning up the system. So, during the day, we come in contact with bacteria and viruses, and we talked about toxins and lead and metals and pollution and all that stuff. But when we go to sleep, the body wakes up and is like, oh, we can't have pollution in our body. We can't be eating processed foods. We can't have this much sugar. And so the liver wakes up and it gets rid of toxin things. The kidneys wake up and start cleaning up the blood. Your sweat glands are cleaning out the skin. And then the brain, a lot of processes happen in the brain where they clean out these plaques. So, when you go to the dentist, they talk about plaques on your teeth.
Yeah.
And then they show you where the plaque is. The brain gets similar kind of plaques. And at nighttime is when the body cleans out the plaques, because in people where this doesn't happen, they end up with what's called dementia or Alzheimer's disease, directly associated with not enough sleep.
We talked about the point of exercise and how people are not exercising a lot right now. Is there any specific exercises that are good for kids, especially during this time?
Yeah, so in my house, I have my children are on Zoom school as well. And I got tired of yelling at them because I might yell sometimes, whatever, not supposed to, but I do. And so I may raise my voice, and because I'm always like, get outside, turn off your electronics, you're always sitting down. So what I did is actually we have all got Fitbits, and we have to get 10,000 steps every single day. And if you don't get 10,000 steps today, you don't get electronics tomorrow. And my son, my one son is doing fine. The other one, like touch and go. However, he's gotten his electronics taken away twice in 7 months. And I made my point. So every night he's like, look, 10,000 steps. And then if he also can jog, and he's come up with all kinds of different workouts and things in order to make sure he gets his 10,000 steps. So, and that makes me feel better because I know that he's moving through the day and I don't have to be always annoying him with like, did you go outside? Did you walk the dog? He's doing it all by himself because I have this little device that I can monitor him on.
That is such a good tip. I hope my mom doesn't hear that. How does our environment influence kids' health?
Well, fun fact, one of the things that we hear during the pandemic is like bleach and more bleach and let's spray bleach. Well, a study showed that in households, it was a study in Norway, in households where the moms are using a lot of bleach, the kids are sicker. They have more tonsil infections, more strep throats, and more flu. Just saying. So we are not, we think we're doing something good, but and you may ask, why is that happening? Well, when we use bleach, we're not just killing bacteria. We're also we're not just killing viruses, we're killing bacteria. And did you guys know for every one human cell, we are 10 bacteria cells. So we're basically,
bacteria.
That's a lot of bacteria. Do you know that in our bellies, so in an adult belly, in my belly specifically, 3 to 4 pounds of my weight is from bacteria.
That's
a
lot of bacteria.
That's a lot. So when we're covered in bacteria, and when we're spraying our houses with bleach to kill the virus that we're scared of, we're also killing the bacteria that is on our skin and in our bodies. And the bacteria that is in our bodies actually protect us from those viruses we're afraid of. So the more we spray bleach, the more we kill the guys that are actually protecting us And if we would have just left it alone, the body can do it all on its own. So that's just like one example. Another example is the stuff that we put in our mouths, like on toothpaste. So a lot of people will brush their teeth with food coloring, preservatives, sugar. Why is there sugar in toothpaste when we're trying not to have sugar on our teeth, right? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Makes no sense. And so we're brushing our teeth twice a day, every day with food coloring and sugar and preservatives, and then we swallow it by mistake, but we think we've done a good thing. So just something as innocent as toothpaste can really be harmful to a lot of people.
You are so inspirational. And we know you are super busy. So we are so thankful for your time. We know you have this amazing book. We heard about your amazing course. Can you tell us how we can learn more about you and about these?
Yes. So the Rule of Five, A Parent's Guide to Raising Healthy Kids in an Unhealthy World, is on Amazon. And I love everybody's support. And for anyone that's helping purchase, it's really helping me bring the message that children are important and children's wellness should be at the forefront, because all we hear about is adults. It's all we hear about: adults this and adult that and adult autoimmune and adult anti-aging and adult cancer. What about the kids? We really want to hear more about the kids. Kids should be at the forefront. So I really appreciate everyone's support. And then, on Instagram, I do all kinds of free education. Every day we talk about different things, from food to toxins to the environment. And that's at Dr. Anna Maria Temple on Instagram. And then on my website, we have a course that has been out for a year. It's for eczema, how to transform eczema using holistic and natural approaches without relying on medications. And that is at my website, drannamaria.com. Go under courses and find the eczema transformation. We would love to have you there. We've helped hundreds of families achieve amazing results. And here's a fun fact: the kids are being put into the course so we can change their eczema, and the dads are getting better, because the dads have to do what the kids are doing. And all of a sudden we're getting all these messages from dads that their allergies are better, that they're sleeping better, that their acne is better, that they have weight loss. So it's been really funny and really exciting to do the eczema course, because we're actually focusing on the kids, because the kids are number one, and the parents are getting better. How about that?
That was so empowering.
Everyone, make sure to follow Dr. Temple on social media. Time to recap for raising healthy kids in an unhealthy world. For Dr. Temple's key points, or as she calls them, her Rule of Five.
Then also the name of the book. Pillar 1: avoid foods that increase inflammation, like limit or eliminate sugar, processed foods, artificial foods, junk foods, as these will only weaken your body and throw out hormones out of balance. Eat whole foods, processed foods, real foods. We keep things simple and basic. And love eating the rainbow, so delicious and colorful. Pillar 2: stress management. Stress can lead to most chronic conditions, as it makes your gut bacteria sick, leads to a weakened immune system. So incorporate a stress management technique into your daily routine. We love to play outdoors, practice mindfulness, medication, and prayer. Pillar 3: optimize sleep. While you sleep, your body doesn't use that as much energy. So it has more time to heal your body, make hormones, lower inflammation, and detoxify your body. So make sure to prioritize sleep. Pillar 4: movement. Get out and keep moving to help your body inside and out. Find something you love to do and just do it. Pillar 5: environment. Clean up your environment, as there are toxins lurking everywhere, and those can lead to us kids getting sicker. So work with your parents or caregiver to find out where those toxins are hiding, and how you can swap out toxic products for clean products.
Thank you again, Dr. Temple.
Thank you so much.
We are so incredibly grateful.
You are what the world needs.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was such a pleasure chatting with you today.
Our pleasure as well.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Zayn Sai.
And I'm Abdullah.
Follow my family and I on social media, Holistic Mom MD, and look out for my mom's book, The Holistic RX, your guide to healing chronic inflammation and disease, and the amazing children's book we wrote together called Adam's Healing Adventures. So check it out on Amazon. Yay!
Remember, our bodies and our health is a huge blessing, and we need to take care of our bodies the best we know how. Please spread the word. Kids need to learn from other kids. Please download our podcast on iTunes and leave a review so other kids and families can benefit. We need to work together to create a healthier future for all of us.
Thank you everyone again.
Join us next week for another episode of the Holistic Kids Show, where kids are empowering kids. Thank you.
Thank you.